coming in here. All right. Got it. Perfect. All right, so we are now live streaming on Facebook. Wonderful. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. I'm just rolling out all the tech stuff here, getting us started. Good evening, Michelle. Welcome. I'm just getting started. This is perfect timing. And we are just about to get rolling here. So live streaming on Facebook, and I am recording this session in case anybody wants to review it. This will be kind of a fun one to end up coming back to just because of the powerful portal that's going on right now. When I put this information for this class out, one of the really strong feelings I was getting was to talk about the 777 portal that we're actually experiencing today. So it's July 7th. But we get the third 7 by adding up the year. So 2023 ends up being a 7 as well. So that's super powerful. As well as because it's 2023, it's actually a 7-year, we call it. And that is all about spiritual enlightenment and connection. And so there's some really cool, it's like the spiritual energy is coming in pretty hot this week. It's really exciting. And for some people, they've been sort of feeling this shift since the 6/6 portal that had happened literally just a month ago. But when we look back at just the power of the sun and the way the frequencies are in the earth, the planetary alignments, this kind of power hasn't really come through for almost 100 years. So it's like this major spiritual alignment, spiritual shift that's been happening for people. And so a lot of people are noticing weird things like, exes all of a sudden contacting them, people kind of coming out from the past. And this has almost been referred to as like a post. I think the pandemic kind of had a lot to do with this little pause that the planet sort of took. Not only did we have tons of retrogrades happening last year, but we're starting to kind of move into that retrograde state again, where a lot of those big outer planets are all aligning in retrograde right now. And so that kind of brings us in even more than these powerful portals, all this energy, the solstice, the eclipses that were going on, all of the mystics and crystal girders of the earth, and even the sort of as we climb in this spiritual journey, a lot of people have been going on a spiritual journey, and you might just be beginning in your spiritual journey where you're starting to ask questions and you're starting to notice, gosh, I'm just stuck in negative patterns. Like, why do I think so negatively all the time? All of this is coming up to be felt, to be healed, to be moved through. And so what's been happening along this path of people that have been kind of doing this work, this conscious living type of work for the last year or two, kind of diving in a little bit more, even maybe 3 years, because it's been really since about 2020 that a lot of the shifts have happened where people are, not only did the world slow down to allow us to kind of come into ourselves, to be kind of bringing us out of the chaos, to let us really see what was important to us, what really meant a lot to us, what really lit us up and really sort of guided our soul. There's a lot of people that are entering the coaching field, or they're empaths, or they're nurses or doctors, or people that are in the sort of healing realm, whether it's counselors or therapists, or just people that are doing this work to sort of heal themselves. They're almost being called over the last couple of years to maybe share this work some way, somehow. They don't really know how. And the stuff that's been coming into my field over the last couple of weeks especially has been really wild, as far as like galactic energies. When we talk about 7/7 portal, this is getting kind of out there. It's getting a little woo-woo. It's getting a little galactic even. Last week in our webinar, we went into sort of meeting our star family, and this week, what's happening with the sun and the way it's lining up with the star Sirius. I don't know how much you guys have read or heard about the star Sirius, but there's actually sort of like three stars around Sirius. There's Sirius A, B, and C, and you can sort of look it up and dive into that a little bit more. But you'll hear Syrian energy being thrown around, or at least I sure have over the last few weeks. And it's like, what is going on? And light language is just, I'm hearing about it. I'm just stumbling upon light language meditations all the time. And over the last couple of years, it's popped into my field more. And for some of you, you've probably been finding the same kind of things. There's these new ways of communicating. There's these new realms that are just opening to us, realms, some people call them, because this is really the worlds that we're creating. We're creating these new um, rooms, these actual timeline rooms. We're able to actually explore and see when we look really far back to the pyramids, back to Stonehenge, back to the way things are all lined up on the earth, the ley lines. There's certain people that have been working with these grids, and all of this is going to enter your field as you're sort of ready for it. And right now, a lot of us are ready for it. And you probably wouldn't be here tonight if you weren't ready for it and you weren't starting to see some of these things yourself and starting to just want to get a better understanding of how all of these worlds are sort of coexisting. And right now is a time where if we play a little bit with the universe next week, a lot of people are saying, if you have divinity tools, play with them. If you have your pendulum, play with it, play with the universe, wake up in the morning and ask for all of the blessings that can be bestowed upon your life to just come showering down, and just be open to that, making that choice of creating the best life that you can for yourself and your family, getting that intention set in the beginning of the day. It'll be really powerful. And a lot of people have already been noticing these just really weird idiosyncrasies, like, holy crap, I just thought of you, and here you are, or running into the same person, or running into particular people that you just thought of, or them just throwing you a message all of a sudden out of nowhere when you haven't seen them or heard from them for months or sometimes even years. What's kind of happening right now in this exact time is a little bit of a reset where we are coming into, you've probably even heard about, the two worlds, the new world, the new world order, all this kind of stuff. But we're kind of coming into a world where, good evening, Reno. Good morning to you. Welcome. Nice to see you. We end up coming into this world where we are exploring not only our emotions, understanding, getting this sort of emotional wealth so we can move on to actual material wealth, but to actually be able to manage our emotions, to be able to have this enlightenment, have this control, know the things that we know now. We've all been sort of brought to this exact point at this exact time to be able to really be able to handle the next level of information that's coming in, to be able to be in the right frequency, to now allow the things that we've been slowly creating in our lives that we're really truly ready to let in. And one of the really cool things that I heard from about three different people who are mentors to me, like a coach, people that are doing crystal gridding across the world, the different messages that I heard from them that were all the same were so enlightening and so profound and so coincidental that I almost couldn't not talk about this today, as far as this 7-7 energy and this sort of thinning of the veil. This, I was saying, this energy is just coming in hot. These new experiences are coming in pretty hot this week. It's going to be pretty exciting, and we're going to have that almost that we're going to be able to match really great vibrations really, really easily, because we're going to be in that anticipation and that excitement. Hey, Nikki, welcome. So glad to have you here. We're going to be able to enjoy some of the feelings of anticipation and gratitude and excitement, and like, holy crap, this is really happening. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. And good evening. Welcome to everyone just joining us. I'm just kind of giving us a catch up on this beautiful energy that's going on right now that we have happening when we talk about portals, and I'm just going to throw everybody on mute just for background noise purposes. Um, the sorry guys, the energies that are coming through right now, I keep on referring to as coming in hot, because this week is going to be really exciting and fun, and it's going to be, if we can get into the space where we're actually not doubting ourselves and moving forward. There's a lot of people, I was just saying, that are giving the same message, and it's been really wild because in coaching people and talking to everybody, I've been seeing this on the other side, and it's especially healers and empaths, and I'm going to get into a little bit about star seeds and star mothers and indigo children and these different galactic sort of races that they call them. Um, they've been really doubting themselves. They've been having this hardcore resistance to, like, what kind of decision did I make here? Like, am I crazy? Are people going to think I'm nuts? Am I crazy for thinking that light language is a thing when I'm sitting and I'm listening to someone, speak in a different language and it's actually resonating with me? Is that crazy? We really kind of doubt ourselves a little bit if we haven't maybe been around that before. But it's been funny how much that's been coming into my field. I've just been seeing and hearing all sorts of people speaking light language and talking about colors and talking about different things that they're experiencing. And if I wasn't in a place of love or on this sort of level where I've been studying this for a long time, or even knew what was going on planetarily, that people are on a collective level, there's lots of ceremony going on, there's lots of shifting, there's lots of people are actually literally going into portals and getting upgrades, and this is something that we're actually going to have fun doing in a meditation tonight, that this is really happening. And the beautiful thing that by next week, by about the end of next week, by about Thursday, we're almost not going to care if people think we are a little bit crazy, because it's like you really can't even deny that these things are happening. There's going to be so many little idiosyncrasies and little coincidences that are just going to sort of pop up in your field. I was even talking to my daughter about this kind of stuff, and it was really neat. I had just a video playing while we were driving one day this week, and it was talking about exes popping up. And anybody get any weird messages from people lately that they haven't seen for a long time? And my daughter was like, "That's so weird that she just said that, Mom, because this person who was an ex per se had all of a sudden messaged her out of nowhere, and then her friend and her boyfriend as well both had an ex that popped out of the middle of nowhere. And just the coincidences, even for someone who's 16 years old or 17 years old, and then working with other people who are experiencing this exact same thing, where they've said this exact same thing over and over. It's like you hear it so many times, it's like, I can't be crazy. I can't be just hearing this so many times and go and experiencing this so many times for nothing. We can't be feeling that we could help people, that we have that we're here for a reason, that we have almost like a message to share, how we want to lift people's hearts. By the end of the week, our heart chakra is opening. And for a lot of people, for that to be able to open, we had to get to this level to be able to manage our emotions, to allow our heart to open to these other people, to this expansiveness that we are meant to be here for. We are meant to be able to share light, to share love, to spread love, to be these people that actually are walking our walk, talking our talk, living in this vibration, so that other people can match it, so that other people can feel like they can be empowered again, like they can grow, like they can feel safe, even for just someone to be able to tell them they're allowed. However many people I can reach in a week is exactly the amount of people that I want to just share their power and their expansiveness and their journey, and help to validate them and help us to get that amount of self-love and self-worth that we just know that we are meant to be here. And this is where these shifts are happening. This is this upgrade that's happening this week, today, and into a lot of people are sort of forecasting that it'll even go as far as the 15th, or perhaps maybe even to the Lion's Gate, which is 8/8, this next portal that eight is more sort of about the actual manifestation. So this is like really kind of getting you in line with your true power, with your love, with your ability to be gentle on yourself, to not be judging others. And for a lot of people, this this negative thinking, or the that feeling of just not feeling how you want to feel. We're getting sort of tied up in some of those negative feelings over the last little while. That's really going to shift. That's really going to, it's been showing us those emotions. If we don't push them aside, if we allow them to come up, if we ask for just a moment when we're starting to feel something, because I gather that you guys have probably felt a little emotional over this last week. Like, and it's not, I'm so depressed, I can't, there's different things going on. A lot of us have been very, very tired because this is a big upgrade. And so it's kind of like before you have this baby, you're sort of resting. Your body is kind of like preparing you for this. It's like things have been knowing that this shift is happening, that this upgrade, this portals can be found if you are ready for them. And there's no doubt that we're all ready to advance into this portal, in whatever it may be. It may just be that this portal is going to bring us into clearing. We're going to really clear those top three energy centers, especially the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart. We're going to get into, if we can unlock these top three, the heart's really going to expand. This not sleeping well, thank you for mentioning that, because that's been a huge thing. Sleep has been very, very light for people. It's been really difficult to shut off the brain, even for people that teach people to shut off their brain. They've been reporting it's hard to shut off their brain to be able to go to sleep. And this is why it's imperative to train your brain. This is one of the biggest things that came through this week for me many times, is just taking 10 minutes every day. It doesn't have to be super long, and just meditate on something, like one thought. You don't even have to do a crazy long meditation. The meditation we're going to do tonight is going to be just perfect for this 7/7 portal. So today is a day where I would recommend you go into a nice deep meditation, asking for those upgrades, allowing your body to shift. My body's just vibrating thinking about this right now. My legs are just like shaking as I was getting ready, and just grounding and smudging down here. My hands were starting to sweat and get hot. It was like, ooh, this is going to be fun. It's like the body is so ready for these, because the soul has been really guiding us. And so now this is on the physical level that we get to be able to match that. And so this week it's going to be a little easier to make plans to take care of ourselves better. It's going to be easier to follow through on something, because this is what's really going to dial it in this week, is actually completing something. So taking 10 minutes and just meditating on the noise of a fan, or the noise of an air conditioner, or the noise of a dripping faucet, or something that is just sort of consistent in the background that you can just keep focusing on for 10 minutes a day. It cleans up the mind. It clears out the mind. So all those negative thoughts, it actually takes you out of that negative frequency and puts you into that level of neutral, so that you can then very easily move to the frequencies that you want to that clarity, to that love, to that acceptance and joy and anticipation and excitement and gratitude and appreciation, and just start moving into all these really good feelings from a place of neutrality, so that you're not really trying to it's really hard to just shift a negative thought or start thinking differently. So that's number one, meditating for just 10 minutes a day on something really quiet. Number two is to spend just a couple minutes with your emotions. Don't have to stay there, but allow them to speak to you. If you're watching a show or sitting and talking to someone, and all of a sudden you're tearing up and you don't even know why, just quiet your mind for just a moment, drop into your heart, put your hands on your heart and just ask yourself, where is this coming from? What is this I'm feeling? And the weirdest things will pop up. It's like, geez, I'm grieving my dog that died 25 years ago. And I didn't even I thought I was kind of past that, but there's emotions that are coming through now to be ready to be healed for this ascension upgrade, because all that stuff has taken up airspace and denseness in your body and in your soul and in your spirit. So this is just being able to kind of clear all that out to be able to move through a lot of this. So it's really beautiful energy that's coming in. And this is why I like kind of talking about the cosmic updates, what's going on right now, because when we understand this, it makes it a little bit easier to, first of all, know that as a collective, everybody's going through this, but also to understand what's happening, and that the planetary alignments are telling us exactly what happens when we look at the star charts, when we look at natal charts and planetary charts of what's going on. You can even see your sign, the planets, that it is actually that the sun, the moon, that the planets are moving through, and the houses that they're in. So you can go as specific as you want to really deeply understand this. But on my Friday night webinars, I really like to just kind of give a bit of a general consensus of what is going on from a multidimensional point of view in everybody I'm talking to. And, a lot of people say I channel it in, and I just get really clearly guided on what I want to share. And one of the main things that has really come across for this weekend and this week and moving into this sort of next 5-7 days is it's just a really powerful time to allow yourself to play with the energy of the universe and imagine and be a child again, and play in your mind. Allow yourself to get grounded. That the third thing is getting grounded. We need to be grounded. So water is super grounding this month, especially. So if you need to take 3 baths a day, if you need to take 3 baths and a shower a day, if you need to get to the beach, you've probably been being called to the water. You guys have probably been noticing this too. Literally feeling so called by the water, or even just noticing how grounding it is to be in the water, even just sticking your feet in the water, even if you're just at a pool and you can only stick your feet in something, just getting into that water some way, somehow is so grounding, and it's so beautiful. And it's one of the ways that you're going to be able to deepen that connection and be able to allow your body and those negative thoughts to not overtake. It's really beautiful to be able to ground with that water. And it also, you can almost picture it as like cleansing you, going through and actually cleansing, like a shower can cleanse you energetically as well as physically. It just feels so good. So really get connected to your water. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water right now, staying really hydrated. When we get into the last thing that I really wanted to touch on is expanding your mind to understand a little bit about some of the things that you might hear mentioned over the last couple weeks, the next few weeks. Things such as you guys might hear starseed thrown around a lot this week. I think we're all starseeds in a way, but a lot of us are raising little star seeds. A lot of us have these kids that are in our field, whether they're our own kids, whether they're kids that are around you, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, other people's children that you can just see there's something really special about them. A lot of them even speak their own language. They're saying that the starseed kids, they're a lot of times the ones that have the imaginary friends, or the ones that are just like babbling, or maybe don't even talk as quickly as some other kids do. They have their own language. It's literally a light language, and it's making perfect sense to them. It just doesn't need to come out as exact English. This may be popping into your field. And one of the terms that was thrown around lately was Star Mother. And that I get goosebumps every time I say it or think about it. And it really resonates with me as with my kids growing up, I've always been either coaching or managing, their teams, their sports teams. I ended up helping out and getting hired at the preschool, even when they started preschool. Some could just call it a helicopter mom. Some could call it a star mother, where you're actually a mother to a whole bunch of little star seeds that maybe their families they don't even know what a star seed is, but it's to allow them to expand and grow. And one of the really cool idiosyncrasies and things that I've noticed in the world is that these kids, it's kind of like the generational stuff that moves. There's a reason that they're so technologically advanced. I mean, it's a joke. If you have something you need done technologically, go ask the teenager or the 8-year-old next door, because they're going to know how to do it. even watching my 15-year-old today we were trying to get onto her iCloud, blah blah blah. Like she just type so fast, like they have their own language now. They It's like they've just completely adapted to this, where we are, as a bit of an older generation, not quite there, but they it's like literally the DNA is made to upgrade. They've been getting some of these upgrades and just have these abilities that we don't, because they're ready for this level of consciousnness. Just like our parents used to say, we notice how different things are. They used to have to walk uphill in the snow barefoot and 10 miles to school. It was because they actually did, I mean, things were really a lot different than they are now. We've made it very easy for our children to get to school, to be able to get around, but they're adapting in different ways. And this level of consciousness, these are these little star seeds, or indigo children, some are called. What an indigo child is actually one that has this aura of indigo around them. So people that can see auras can see these little indigo children too. The rest of us who maybe can't see auras, they look like they have really big eyes. They're kind of magical children, they're enlightened. They're very conscious. You even meet some teenagers and some Gen Z or Gen X's and millennials that have these really neat abilities. These are star children. These are these empaths. These are the people that are sort of brought here to change the world. And for a lot of us, I feel like we may be those connectors, those communicators, those people that are able to allow them to shine by shining ourselves, by showing them that there is a way to connect with your conscious mind and create what it is that you want. Get that power back, even having our power so taken away, being able to actually empower ourselves to take it back, to be able to feel like we can actually make a choice for ourselves on what feels good and not be told by others what we need to do, is a really powerful thing to be able to share with the world. And I feel like saying to most of the empaths, and especially the people that are embarking on a bit of a journey of, they've made some choices, they are going for something, whatever it might be. It might be a relationship, it might be a new job, it might be an entrepreneurship, it might be a coaching business, it might be going back to school, and whatever it is, now is the time to really go for it. Now is the time to really allow yourself to recognize some of those emotions that are coming up, to be able to move through a lot of these things that are, it might even be physical pain that's coming up. It might be a sickness, an illness, a diagnosis. It might be tough relationships, or maybe it's really good relationships. Things are coming in right now to really be able to show us what it is that we both don't want and what we do want to create, by creating that big contrast. And the bigger the contrast and the resistance, generally the bigger the result and the reward are going to be. So don't give up on what this is that your soul was guiding you towards, leading you towards. That, I'm getting goosebumps again, that feeling that you just can't not do it. It just, when you think about not doing it, it breaks your heart. When you actually went to go think about, I don't know if I'm doing this, like, not, it just felt so wrong to give that up. It felt like your soul was going, but no, you've come so far. This is the time to listen to that and to really allow yourself to dive into that beautiful energy, into that beautiful, I'm glad that's resonating with you, to dive into that beautiful path that you saw, those seeds that you planted, and allow yourself to really see what you can do by now taking care of it, giving it what it needs. If it's your body, if it's your, you're really called to make some physical changes right now, the strongest thing that we can do, and we know this scientifically, is complete it. Whatever it is, if it's one thing, if it's drinking more water, if it's maybe stop listening to the negativity and start trying to replace one negative thought with 3 positive thoughts. Whatever, we're going to go into a beautiful meditation to be able to see maybe what one of those things are that we can be guided to do, to take action on and follow through and complete and create that neural pathway. When we actually complete something, it makes that neural pathway actually attract the proteins to make it stronger, to finish that neural pathway. So that is then your path of least resistance. That's just where more gravity is headed versus where it was. And if we allow that gravity to go into our self-doubt and our self judgment, that's going to just throw us out. And so that's when we notice that that doesn't feel right. So really being able to take action on that, really being able to pay attention to what feels right, and really where our focus is. Where is our energy going? Where are we allowing it to be placed? If it was to be a big energy ball, of negative thoughts versus positive thoughts, our belief, what we really believe about something, our beliefs are so strong, right? So if we're noticing what our beliefs are, we can take power over that. We can change it. If we're noticing that we really, if I was to really ask myself, how I feel about something, how do I really feel about it? I don't think I can do it. That is a belief. And that's something that we can shift. We can literally shift it by allowing our energy centers to be a little bit clear, to understand how the language works, understand how the universal laws work, and just be able to kind of dial it back into what am I focusing on? What am I choosing to focus on? I have the power to choose to focus on the positive, on the self-love, on the I can do this. It takes a little bit to sort of get there at first, but the more we practice it, the better. And you can't sort of get to a positive place from a negative place. So that's why that little meditation in between can be so powerful and just making it easy to shift. So by the time you spend a month doing 10 minutes a day of meditation, you hardly even have to think about it anymore. It's easier to stay in that positive because you're not already in the negative. You're not starting in that place of negative bias where we know 95% of our thoughts are repeated each day. So we have the choice to sort of plant the seeds of what it is we want to be having in that 95%, actually having some control over that. We were just trained by parents who really thought they knew best, and some of those lessons that they gave us, some of those ancestral lessons, and now today we're going to get into some of those galactic lessons. When you think back how all of this was created, you can dive in to galactic wars, galactic there's saying that Syrians went to Vega, there's a whole other world of galactic energies that are out there that we can also clear, that we can use the wisdom from. We have parts of us that were defragmented over just this last soul's journey in this human form. But our soul goes way further back than I think we can even ever imagine. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but there's that story of the epigenetics and how they actually figured out that we respond to things that are in our field by storing it in our DNA. And there was a story about mice and cherry blossoms where they just introduced the cherry blossoms at the same time as shocking this one generation of mice. And now over the years, they've done it, I guess, 4 or 5 different generations of mice. The first generation of mice had this shock. They got delivered this shock as soon as the cherry blossoms came into their cage. And so these mice were terrified of these cherry blossoms and they reacted harshly. The second generation, none of these mice had actually been in that original experiment where those cherry blossoms were introduced, and no shock was introduced, but they still had that same response. The fear response took in, they scattered, they freaked out, they ran, they didn't know why, but they were just running from these cherry blossoms just because of the scent. 3 generations, it still happened. 4 generations, it still happened, yet none of these mice had this original event. We hang on to these things. Imagine the stuff that we're hanging on to that we don't even know about, that goes as far back as galactic energy. Could it be? So let's go into a meditation where we just have fun with this, where we just open ourselves up to the spiritual upgrades that are available to us today, just by the way we open up to the planetary alignments, the way we open up to the cosmic energy, and allow ourselves to do a reharmonizing of our energy centers, our energy fields, a reharmonizing of our our beliefs, our identities, and just allow ourselves to really sort of clean, clear, and transmute our field to be able to really go into this week feeling light, having space, just opening ourselves up to really bringing in what it is that we are ready to create in our lives. So before we do, I'm going to ask you guys to just think about something in your minds that, you know, you've been really ready to create, that you've been really wanting to experience in life. It might be a different kind of relationship. It might be feeling that anticipation again. It might feel just like actually really enjoying life. You might feel like you're ready to create a healthy environment, a real physically healthy environment where you're supporting yourself as much as possible. It might be just creating the most peaceful and balanced life for your family. It might be creating emotional balance and wealth and health like you've never had before. It might just be, you know, you're really ready to experience some self-love. You're really ready to experience that self-worth. Maybe it's actual financial abundance. Maybe you're ready to make it rain and just watch the money roll in. Maybe you're ready to just, you know, find your soul's purpose, to expand your heart, to be able to help others like you really want to in whatever way, shape, or form that is. So I want you to just set that intention in your heart. And we're just going to allow ourselves to expand into that beautiful energy as we start to get as comfortable as possible. So take a moment to just, whether it's stretch, if you want to lay down and just listen, you absolutely can. If you want to stay seated and present, I absolutely recommend that too. Sometimes you lose my voice and you end up going into a beautiful beta or theta state, even alpha state, where you're able to really just kind of let your mind go on a journey and go on a bit of a hiatus and allow those parts to all kind of integrate. So if you guys are okay with me connecting into your field, you can just say to yourself a big yes and just allow yourself to just feel our fields connect as a collective, just in a really safe space, a really healing energy, allowing all of the positive energies to just come in and help us to just be guided towards that truer, greater path, the one of soul expansion, the one that's just been guiding us along, and just allow us to finally open up to receiving, open up to receiving this energy. And I want you to just notice your breath right now. Notice your breath as it's coming in your body. Take a nice deep breath in through your belly. And as you breathe out, just feel your whole body just start to relax. And I want you to feel your feet on the ground, or your bottom as it's touching the chair. Anything that's connected with gravity to the earth's pull right now, I want you to just feel that beautiful earth's energy, that drawing in, that connectedness as the energy grid lines allow your body, your soul to just connect with the earth's energy, and just feel that amazing matrix start to join yours, with all grounding and drawing energy up from the earth into the core of your body. And imagine all of your cells starting to light up and starting to vibrate as you start to connect with the frequency of the earth's heartbeat, the frequency of the earth's energy, that Schumann's energy, that Schumann's frequency, this sun's energy that's been higher than it has in almost 100 years. And just feel that force field in and around your body as it starts to come up your feet and your legs, just noticing your cells kind of starting to light up, starting to connect with all of the power that the earth has to share with us. And it's like lights are starting to turn on as they move up your legs, like little flashes of light are starting to move through the body, almost like a little flash that's healing and repairing, almost like a little welder, a little spot welder moving through the body, one little part at a time, just fixing, cleaning, clearing, recalibrating, reharmonizing the cells in those areas, especially around the feet and the knees and the legs, like this little beautiful spot welder moving through your body, just zapping in to anything that needs it, just fine-tuning some of those joints that are loose, almost like bringing your car in before you're gonna get an upgrade to a new car, a new system. It's almost like getting some of those ball joints fixed, or kind of going through the car, just fixing all the little rattles and rolls and little shakes and little bits of scarring and fragments and cracks, just allowing this little magic spot welder to start moving through your body, coming up into the thighs and starting to connect with the pelvis and the hips, and noticing all of the familial, generational ties that sit down in that root chakra. And I want you to just imagine the color red starting to come in with this spot welder when it's fixing things in this area, when it's moving through, when it's doing its little repairs and upgrades, when it's coming through and just installing maybe some of these new parts. I want you to notice a red coloration starting to move through that root chakra, just tapping and zapping. Now, a lot of women have been noticing their cycles have been really weird lately. These shifts that have been happening have actually been upgrading their systems in this. So just allowing the womb to create space for this little spot welder to go in and create some healing, some recalibrating, some reharmonizing around some of these familial traumas, generational traumas. And as you feel that color move from red to a little bit of a darker orange, I want you to notice some of the sexual healing that's starting to happen with this little spot welder, just moving through some of these areas. Moving through and literally completing some of the energy work that needs to be done in and around boundaries. Noting that these emotions, everything that has been coming up and into your field lately, has been so that we can create some boundaries, so that we are able to contain this energy that we're about to be upgraded to, so that we can balance and keep balanced and help create balance for others in this beautiful sacral plexus. And allow this orange coloration to start to circle around your hips, start to circle around your lower belly, and notice, is it moving clockwise? That's increasing the energy, increasing the flow down through your sacral plexus, just moving through your colon and all of that. Anytime you were sort of stabbed in the gut, anytime it was gut-wrenching, anytime that pain was shoved down so deep, just allowing that orange coloration to start moving through, recalibrating, reharmonizing. This might even be a little uncomfortable for some. There's a sharpness in some of that energy, and I want you to use your breath to just move that beautiful orange coloration through, cleaning, clearing, transmuting, and balancing everything in the sacral plexus as you just allow that light, that color, to start to recalibrate and clean and clear that that sacral plexus, so that we connect into our heart, so that our heart can expand. Creating these beautiful boundaries about self-love, about self-care, allowing that inner drive to start to get driven again, or allowing that inner spark to start getting lit again as you start to feel this gorgeous sunsetty orange move into the sun color of yellow, as you feel it expand through your belly, around your belly button and just above, feeling that gorgeous expansion happening. As you start to feel that energy move through your gut, you start to feel the excitement of recognizing and remembering who you were. Who you were as that little kid, that beautiful, innocent child, that one that just wanted to create light and love and just wanted to heal everything, everyone, who just wanted to create. And I want you to think right now of some creations and some fun things that you did as a child, some of the most beautiful times that you remember where you were so excited, where you had so much fun. It may have been a vacation, it may have been with a new pet, it may have been with friends, just feeling that laughter, that belly laughter, that expansion of soul, that knowing you belonged, you knowing you were in a right place, feeling that. And go into the remembrance of some of the things that really are of value to you, some of the things that really mean a lot to you, your friends, music, love. Think of some times of really feeling of appreciation, of gratitude, things that you just were so grateful for. Maybe they're things that aren't even here anymore. Maybe it was people. Feeling the gratitude of being connected to that point at that time, and allowing this energy to start moving into a gorgeous green coloration, a green that you've never even seen before. You've used the color green, you've had the color green expand into your heart chakra, but today it's new. Today it's expanding into a bit of a new green color, and I want you to just pay attention to what that color is, because you're going to see it over the next week. You're going to notice it, just like a red truck. And anchor into this green coloration. Notice it all around you in things. Notice it around you in nature. And imagine it connecting to some of these things, expanding, growing little veins, little arms, little extensions as your little spot welder continues to move through and do some repairs in this area. Repairing all of those spots where there's been cracks, there's been a little bit of damage. Just allowing that spot welder to go around to find the exact spots that need to be healed right now. And imagine the color of the well to be a bit of a green in a different hue than you've ever seen before, and just to expand that coloration, expand that energy, and just see how far you can feel it go right now. I feel for a lot of us it's going 4, 5, 6 feet out, maybe even more. Perhaps we can expand it into others that have been calling us to let them in. Allowing that vibration to touch those people that have been ready to be entering into our field with our heart chakras open, even if we don't know who they are yet. And allowing that gorgeous green color to continue to heal. Notice any pressure in your body that you feel, any discomfort, any pain, and allow your breath to move that green coloration into that area. The heart is very connected to other areas of the body, so tune in right now. If your green spot welder needs to move into any of those other parts, and just do a little bit of a cleanup in your system. And now we're going to move into those blue hues, those gorgeous blue hues that are going to expand around our throat chakra as we allow our light and our energy to start moving through, allowing our throat to open up, our speech to be so clear, so well intended, so kind, so compassionate. Allowing the judgments that we speak unto ourselves to just be cleared, cleaned, transmuted. And ask yourself, when you go into a situation where you're triggered, where you're hurt, to ask yourself and to notice how interesting it is that you chose the reaction that you did, or that someone else even did. And allow this to guide you to the light and the love around any situation, to keep you grounded, to keep you out of judgment, to keep you in those high vibrations of just acceptance. Isn't it interesting that we chose this reaction, or that they chose this reaction? We can then notice it's maybe far from the truth, or maybe there's some truth to be seen in that. And this is where our throat chakra and our third eye are going to be opening up this week in a brand new way. They're getting upgrades, our throat, our third eye, and our crown chakra. And I want you to just imagine this blue color moving in through your throat, your jaw, anything in the mouth, any healing that needs to be occurred. Allow that spot welder to go through with a beautiful blue color that's so bright, and just allow that to move through those areas that have been maybe causing some discomfort. Maybe it's even the ears. Allow that blue coloration to really move into any areas that need spot welding. And just allow the tingles, the vibrations, the weird feelings that your body may be having, just expand into those. Just allow them resonate. Feel the expansion of your cells healing, of your cells reintegrating into this gorgeous new energy. This energy of light, of having your energy centers feeling centered for maybe some of us, some of the first times really feeling grounded, really feeling cleared and cleaned and balanced out. And feel that pressure start to move up through your nose and through your eyes as your third eye starts to truly open. As your third eye is starting to get an upgrade, you can see in front of you the most beautiful pyramid that you've ever seen. It may be deep within a forest. It may be in the sandy desert. I want you to picture right now the most beautiful pyramid you've ever seen. You know it's your beautiful, energy-guided pyramid of light where there's an ascension room inside that you're going to get to enter. And as your third eye starts to open up, you start to feel some pressure between your eyes. Your eyes may even feel a little uncomfortable as you allow this pyramid to be formed right in front of your eyes. As you tap into a beautiful indigo color, I want you to be guided like a light shining you to the door of this pyramid. Notice what it looks like, if it's arched, if it's square, if it's hidden, if it's big, if you can't miss it, if you have to climb some stairs to get to it. Start ascending, start moving to this door of your pyramid. And as you ask and allow for your third eye to start to integrate into this beautiful galactic space of Sirian energy, of bringing in Isis even, knowing that your spiritual, your galactic team is going to be inside guiding you as you start to get close to the door. I want you to think about taking a step inside. Some of us are still moving towards it, and as you get closer, you feel almost like you went through a bit of a timeline shift, a bit of a quantum portal door. Notice the lucky number 7s all around you. This pyramid is for pure spiritual manifestation. This pyramid has been here all along, but you're ready to step into it as you feel your crown chakra start to open up. And as soon as you step inside, you start to get tingles into the top of your head as you move towards a door inside of this pyramid that has 3 7s over top of it. This is your ascension room. Just take a nice deep breath and move into your ascension room right now. And allow yourself to connect through your imagination, through your crown chakra, through this light that's starting to open up through the top of your head as you enter through this door of this pyramid into this ascension room, where you're actually able to connect with all of the galactic beings, all of the archangels, all of the Sirian energy that has messages for you. And I want you to just feel for a moment what it feels like to be completely surrounded by amazing galactic energy. And imagine that your body is almost being uplifted, where you can't even feel it anymore. You're turning into a pillar of light that's just channeling information through. And I want you to just step into this beautiful light right now. Allow this crown chakra to open up in a magenta white type of lotus that's just unfolding from the top of your head as you're able to tap into all of the messages that are ready to be brought to you this week. It may happen one day at a time, it may happen one moment at a time, but just choosing to allow these upgrades to happen, this process to occur in your body. Almost like this light is taking over and just channeling through you. The healing energy is starting to move through all of your channels, all of your energy centers, right from the bottom of your toes, far deep down into Mother Earth's energy, all the way up through the energy centers we've just cleaned and cleared and transmuted and balanced, through the top of the pyramid, right up to the Sirian star, directly into that energy. I'm going to be quiet for a moment as you just allow those downloads and those messages to appear to you in any way, shape, or form. You can ask questions. You can choose to just allow this energy upgrade to occur right now, opening yourself through this beautiful light, this beautiful healing energy, and allow it to install these updates into your body so that you can be transmitting beautiful healing energy around the world. Take about 3 or 4 nice deep receiving breaths. And ask this energy to show you some steps that you can take in this week, maybe in a project you've been wanting to complete, maybe something that's been really meaning a lot to you. Ask for some clarity, ask for the messages to be downloaded into your system so that they can come through when you're ready. Feel like you're being embraced in a chamber of light. Feel like you're almost in a movie where you can enter a chamber and everything just gets scanned, healed, appropriately reconstructed to your most beautiful, highest timeline, to your most beautiful, highest healed self, creating everything that you've been putting your energy towards without that self-doubt. Choose to allow this energy to just move through your body right now as you start to feel yourself slowly coming back to human form, continuing to be tapped into these energies, these messages that are coming in, choosing to allow this, all of the positive energies to create this highest timeline, all of these shifts that you've been ready for. Being in this portal, being in this ascension room, connecting with all of the greater wisdom that's been meant to come into your field. Just choose to allow that in right now. And ask for maybe even a color. Notice the color that comes to your mind right now. Ask for a vision of a spirit animal. Notice the animal that comes to your mind right now. And ask for an action step. Something to move you towards that magnetic alignment of where it is that you've been going. Something you've been waiting to do. And slowly, and when you're ready, coming back to that human form in this ascension chamber, bringing yourself back, calling yourself in, calling your spirit within to be on this journey with you, knowing that you are spirit. Slowly moving back towards the door of the ascension room, and just noticing your body coming back into itself as you start to make your way slowly and gently towards the door of the pyramid. And as you do, I want you to notice that as you come out of this pyramid, there's a beautiful little stream that's there that's just going to almost cleanse and clean your system of anything else. And I want you to just feel yourself stepping into this stream, just allowing that water to wash over your feet, to ground you, to bring you back to the earth's plane as this ascended, upgraded spiritual being that you are. And notice that these downloads, these upgrades are going to just settle in over the next week in most beautiful ways. Take a few nice receiving breaths as you just feel this stream wash over your feet in the most gentle, cleansing way. And when you're ready, you can come on back to us by wiggling a toe, connecting with your body again. If you close your eyes, you can open them. And just really try and go into this week enjoying it as much as you possibly can, having some fun, playing games with the universe, playing games with yourself. Think, that's an interesting record I'm playing. I think I'm going to try a new one. I'm going to flip it to side B. I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm going to start experiencing life how I want to create it, how I want to experience it. And that is with love and kindness and compassion. My whole body's just vibrating right now. You might notice that too. Some people have had nausea this week. Some people have had real dizziness this week where they're like, should I call a doctor? And I'm like, oh no, it's all good. It's just the portal coming up. Like it's really funny. It's not funny, but it's like I said, that lack of sleep, the crazy dreams, the even for some it's been migraines. And this whole week was really quite funny. Like Monday with the full moon, people were just like, yeah, things are shifting. I can feel it. It's coming. And by like Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like, F this. I'm not doing it. I don't think I was meant to do this, going into that doubt and all this kind of crazy energy. It's going to be a lot more balanced out this week. Love you, Samara. Thank you so much for joining. Use your essential oils. Use some of the scents that I tested for today were lemongrass, sandalwood, all very grounding, cleansing, purifying. Ginger, use your ginger, lavender, all that beautiful stuff. So use some of those oils, some frankincense. If it's one that you could, like doTERRA, that you can drink it. If you can get those herbs into your realm, into your realm, do that this week. And make sure you're getting your water and really staying grounded and hydrated. So thank you so much, everybody. If anybody needs a little bit more guidance or you are being called, this week is huge, especially for people really wanting to get on a path where they're really starting to explore their spirituality and being grounded, seeing what they're capable of. Sometimes it helps to have someone tap in with you and really help you hone some of those things in. So look us up on creatorsphere.world and you will find myself and a bunch of other beautiful coaches. And we would be happy to even have a free call with you and just see if we can get you lined up in the next couple of weeks to really make the most of the 8/8 portal that's coming up, because that's exciting too. Manifestations are on the horizon, and why miss them when we're right there and we can just dive on into this energy this week. So stay grounded, beloveds. Sending so much love to you all. Thank you, Michelle, for joining. It was great. Yeah, we're diving in. Verena, love this. We are so diving in. We have such big stuff coming up. We're in creation mode again. Notice the things that are coming around. If you want the replay, by all means, shoot me a message. Hook up with me on Magnetic Soul Life Coaching in Facebook, whatever you need. I am here. Sending you guys such love. Mwah. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a nice Epsom salts bath, some water. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Good night.